Hello students, I'm here with the topic Other Modes of Nutrition from the same chapter, chapter number 1, Nutrition in Plants. But before we go further, we have to revise the previous topics first. The first topic of the previous video is nutrition. What is the meaning of nutrition? To take the food and utilize that energy for the various metabolic activity is called nutrition. Two types of nutritions are there, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. What is the meaning of autotrophic nutrition? The mode of nutrition in which organism is making their own food with the help of simple substance, carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. Next is heterotrophic nutrition. Organism is not able to make their food. They are dependent on others. It is called heterotrophic nutrition. Next is how autotrophs can make their own food with the help of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in which organism is using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll. They are making product glucose. This is called photosynthesis. Now reason for the variety of color schemes in the leaves because of the colorful pigment present in leaves. And next one is photosynthesis by plant parts other than leaves, means except leaves some of the part of the plant can also do photosynthesis, which is having chlorophyll. Now we will see the first topic of this video, that is synthesis of food other than glucose. Means plant can produce other product except glucose also, but how they can produce? As we know, photosynthesis product is glucose. Then how can it is making protein, fat, starch? That we will see. For that one, first we will see the element of glucose. The element of glucose are carbon dioxide, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. When carbon, hydrogen and oxygen elements are there, it is called glucose, simple carbohydrate, which can be easily digestible. But when any another element has been increased or has been combined with this three element with this glucose, it is converted into complex carbohydrate. Complex carbohydrate like protein, fat, starch and vitamins. So first we will see food in the form of starch. It can make food in the form of starch. This characteristic of starch is it is sticky substance. When you want to check the presence of starch, you just have to touch that one. It is feeling like stickness. It is having stickness. Just because of this characteristic, we can identify that is starch or not. It is complex carbohydrate and it has been stored in roots, stems, seeds or leaves. We will see example. The first example is wheat grain and second example is rice grain. If you want to check wheat is having starch or rice is having starch, we are having one activity that we can do at our home also. We have to choose some of the amount of wheat grain. Afterwards, you have to touch that lump. When you will touch that lump, it will feel sticky. Same for rice flour, where you have to boil some of the rice in water and you have to touch that water, you will feel sticky. This represents that starch is present in both the grains. Next is we are having example of leaves and we have said that starch has been stored in leaves also. These are the two leaves. The first leaf is the normal leaf and the second is reacted leaf with the iodine. Iodine is having characteristic when it will react with the starch. It is giving blue-black color. If starch is not present, it will not give any of the color. So here you can see the second leaf, right hand side leaf, it is converted into black. That represent leaves are also having starch. Next is potato. Now here raw potato has also starch. When you will boil the slice of this potato in water, after some time you will touch that water, you will feel sticky. That represents potato is also having starch. The second is plant make oil as food. Means it can produce oil also. The excess amount of glucose has been converted into complex carbohydrate fat. This fat is stored in seeds and this fat or oil has been stored in seeds and these seeds are called oil seeds. We are having example, that is peanut, soybean, sesame, black seeds, corn, rice bran, canola, sunflower, walnut, pumpkin seed, flaxseed and pine nuts. Here if we want to check that particular seed is having oil, what we have to do? We have to grind it. We have to make some powder. This powder we have to rub with the paper. When you will rub with the paper, paper is opaque. But when after rubbing this powder of nuts, you will feel that paper is converted into translucent material. and this represent, or you can see some oil spots are there on the paper. With the help of this one, we can represent that the particular nuts, whatever we are having, is containing fat. Next is, third one is, plant make protein as food. Protein is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen element. These are the elements of protein. Here in this element you can see one element is extra, that is nitrogen. And as we had discussed that when the glucose is having three elements, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, when any another element has been increased or combined, the property of the glucose has been changed and it is converted into complex carbohydrate. So this is nitrogen, which is extra element which is combined with the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, means glucose, and is converted into protein, and it is containing nitrogen. Just because of the presence of nitrogen, it is also called nitrogenous substance. Now the next is, this type of plant, such type of plant can convert this one, not all plants. This type of plants, glucose is combined with the nitrogen element to form amino acid, which is converted into protein. First, glucose will combine with the nitrogen. It will form amino acid. Amino acid is the small unit of the protein. This small unit will combine together and will make big molecule of protein. So first, glucose will combine with the nitrogen. It will form amino acid. This amino acid will convert into protein. Next is, we are having example: red lentil, black chickpea, kidney beans, green gram, black gram and red gram. Next is, how plants get a nitrogen. Now as we know that protein, the elements of proteins are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Then they should require nitrogen. There should be any of the source for the plant to get nitrogen. So they are taking nitrogen with the help of rhizobium bacteria present in their root nodules. And this type of plants are called leguminous plant. This type of plants are called leguminous plant. Now how they are getting that, we will see. Process of absorption of nitrogen. Why we have to see this process of absorption of nitrogen? Why we have not seen the process of absorption of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis? Because it is easy process to absorb carbon dioxide by the chlorophyll. But this is little bit complication, that each plant is not able to do this absorption of nitrogen. Specific feature containing plant also only can do that. So what is that specific feature? That is presence of rhizobium bacteria in their root nodules. Now what they are doing? The rhizobium bacteria will convert atmospheric nitrogen into water soluble nitrates and release into the soil. Now this nitrates which has been released into the soil will combine with water and will form water soluble molecule. And this water soluble nitrates has been absorbed by the plant and will make amino acid, after that make proteins. This is the proper process. How rhizobium bacteria will convert atmospheric nitrogen into the protein. This is important point that you have to remember. First, rhizobium bacteria will convert atmospheric nitrogen into water soluble nitrates and release into the soil. These nitrates will combine with the water and will make the water soluble molecules, nitrate molecules, and this has been absorbed by the plant and they will make amino acid. Afterwards it is converted into protein. Like this way protein has been formed and absorption of nitrogen has been done. Next is, plants make vitamins as food also. As we know very well that vitamins are not produced in our body except one vitamin, that is vitamin D. In the presence of sunlight, vitamin D is formed in our body, but rest all vitamin we have to take from outside. We have to intake all vitamins which is present in food. Okay, so some of the plants are making vitamins containing fruit or vegetables also, which is complex substance and beneficial for the human body too. Next is importance of photosynthesis. Two importance are there. Food to all. It is giving food to all living organism and giving oxygen for the survival of living organism. Food to all living organism. So we are having one question that carnivores does not require any kind of plant, but carnivores require herbivores. If herbivores is not there, then what they will eat? So indirectly they are dependent on plants, and plants cannot survive without photosynthesis. Second is they are giving oxygen. There is not the single source that is produce oxygen except plants. If plants are not there, living organism cannot survive, because for the breathing process, for the respiration, for the proper digestion, they require oxygen. And the source, one and only source on the earth for oxygen is plant. So there are two importance of photosynthesis. First is they are providing food to all living organisms, and second is they are giving oxygen for the survival of all living organisms. We will see other modes of nutrition. Two types of other modes of nutrition are there: parasitic plants and saprophytic plants. Parasitic plant, what is the meaning of parasitic plants? The parasitic plants means which live on or inside the other organism for derive their food is called parasitic plants. Now we'll see one video for the parasitic plants, how they are getting nutrition from the host, how they are surviving on the host. This is the dodder plant germination. It is going to germinate, develop, and start to find support. It's getting support. We'll make the loop and we'll climb on this host plant. Tightening the coils around host so that it will get the nutrient. It's able to take support very easily. Now see this loop making hostorial connection, means it is making connection with the host, means they are entering their sucking roots inside the host to get the nutrients due to the attack on host. And the development regrows from the connection point from where they are getting, from where they are connected to the host plant. From there the new dodder plant has been germinated and the roots has been dry up. Turn around searching for more. Whenever they are getting support, they will develop. They will move ahead. And at last they will cover full plant on which they are taking support. It has been covered by the dodder plant. See this one, this the dodder plant has been covered the host plant. Now some of the characteristics of that plant parasite, that is they are non-green plant, they are climbers too, and they will get nutrition from the host with the help of hair-like structure, that is sucking root. So with the help of sucking root they are getting their nutrition, and what this sucking roots will do, that will enter into the host part and will get the nutrient, because just because of the non-green plants they are not able to make their food. Next is we have seen plant parasite. Now we will see animal parasite. Lice. This is bedbug. This is lice. This is leech, and these are the mosquitoes. Okay, these all are the animal parasites. Now we will see saprophytic nutrition. So this type of organism, saprophytic organism, will take nutrient from the dead and decaying organism. They will survive. They will survive on the rotted material. These plants are non-green plants. How they are getting? So they will secrete some kind of liquid that will digest the nutrients, that will make the nutrient soluble, which is present in dead and decaying organism, and afterwards that will be absorbed by the saprophytic organism. Saprophytic, and this is called saprophytic nutrition. Example of fungi and mushroom you have been given. Now we're having one video that we will see. These are the mushroom which is developed on the dirty places. It's very beautiful. Fluffy structure. This is the microscopic organism that is just bread mold. And this is microscopic in the sense if you want to see this one, we have to use microscope. And this is for the upside spherical bowl containing spores. This is also saprophytic nutrition. These all are mushrooms. Develop on the dirty places, as you can see. Fluffy structure. This you can see very clear where it can develop. Rotate material or decaying material is the source for nutrient for them. Now, as we all know, fungi is useful as well as harmful. That we will see how it is useful and how it is harmful. First, we will see reason for the harmfulness. It will damage leather, clothes, and spoil pickles also, and it can cause diseases like ringworms in human beings. Next is what are the uses? So it is used for to make medicine as well as antibiotics, and also used as food. We will see the example of fungus which is used for the medicine, that is penicillin. Penicillin is the antibiotic which has been obtained from the Penicillium fungus. Next is fungi such as mushroom is used as food also. And now this is your home assignment that you have to do at your home. You will get all the answers from the slides only. Right, first is write the form of food produced by plants. Second, two examples of roots which contain starch. Third, what are the elements of glucose, starch and protein? Fourth, how plants are getting atmospheric nitrogen. Fifth, where bacteria are responsible for fixation of nitrogen. You have to write down the name. Sixth, give the 5 example of food which contain fat. Seventh, what is the meaning of parasitic plant or parasitic nutrition, and 2 plant parasites and 2 animal parasites you have to write down. 8, how plant parasites are getting their nutrition, that you have to write down. 9, define saprophytic nutrition and give the examples of saprophyte. 10, how fungi gets nutrition from decaying material. And 11, advantages and disadvantages of fungi. 12, write the name of fungi used to make antibiotic and also write the name of that antibiotic. Means you have to write down the name of the fungus from which you are getting antibiotic, and you have to write down the name which antibiotic has been formed from that particular fungus.